Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Creating Your Desired Life. Today, we are talking about your vision. What's the vision for your life? And so we are going to explore how to cultivate a clear vision and purpose that guides your journey towards success and fulfillment, in all areas of your life. So I am so super excited to have this powerful conversation with my very special guest, my friend, Alycia Huston. Now, you guys probably know her very much because she's been on here before. She is going to be a regular. Why? Because there's so many powerful things that she has to share. And I'm like, let me get you out there so people can hear exactly what's on your mind and what's your thoughts. And so before I bring her on, I just want to talk a little bit or tell my very small story about my vision, right? Because I've always grown up where I was always taught, Esther, you have to have a vision for what you're doing. And I really never understood it in my younger days, as my parents would tell me. You have to have a vision of what you're doing. And so I would, when I began to understand it, I began literally, I would envision exactly what I want. So I remember the first time I was applying for a job, and I did not know exactly, what I wanted to do. What I did know was, and this is a job like, after I graduated from high school, I went to college and I said, well, let me find something to do that's going to give me, some extra money. Y'all know how, especially as women, you know how we like to have our own money and we like to spend it. I had a vision to have my own money and not to have to ask anybody else for money. Right. And so, I remember I applied for this particular job and I just began to envision myself on this job. And I'm looking like, it looks as if I'm looking away, but when I begin to envision, I just kind of look and I just kind of see past everything when I'm envisioning things for my own life. And I just began to envision, I was around 19 years old or 18, envision this job. I envisioned going in for the interview and what they were going to ask me, although I didn't know, but what my response was going to be. I will never forget, I walked into that interview. It wasn't at a professional office. At that time, I went to New York and I decided I was going to get a job in the big city of New York. So I was in Manhattan. I wasn't even sure where I was going or what I was doing. I was walking into corporate America. That was my very first experience in corporate America. And I walked into this job and I looked very professional. I had my a suit on and I sat down. By the way, they don't even do that these days, wearing suits and things like that to interviews. It's like, okay, that's just like my soapbox, y'all. It's my soapbox. Okay. But let me get back to the point at hand here. So I sat in the interview and the woman had a very stoic face that kind of intimidated me, really did, because I'm young and they're looking for clerical, right? Speed typer, because I'm just not, wasn't something I focused on in school. And she began to ask me all of these questions. And as she answered the questions, I answered them the best way I could. But as I was looking at her, I just continued to envision me sitting there and working at that job. And I just kept that vision in my forefront. You understand? And because I kept that vision in my forefront, in my view, that was my focus as I answered those questions, just going through, this is my vision. I want this job. I'm going to get this job. I'm going to do this. And what I'm saying is that you have to have a vision for what you want. And when you have a vision for what you want, then you pursue it. And no matter what happens, although she was extremely intimidating, I'm in Manhattan. I'm not familiar with New York. But I had a vision and I made a decision that because I had this vision, I would pursue it at all cost. And I answered her questions very nervous. My voice is, it's rattling, but I'm answering. And she could hear the nervousness in my voice. And then she asked me, why do you want this job? And I began to tell her my vision. And I got that job. I believe that I got that job because I was able to not just answer the questions to the best of my ability. I had no experience, but I talked to her about this is the vision I have. That is the importance of having a vision for your life and your business. Your vision gives you direction. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, right? As we just embark on this transformative exploration with my special guest, Alycia Huston. Alycia is a certified NeuroLeadership coach, a consultant, and an international speaker. With her extensive experience and expertise, Alycia will provide invaluable insights into crafting a vision for your life that aligns with your true desires and aspirations. As we journey through today's episode, please reflect on your own vision for your life and consider how you can take intentional steps towards manifesting your dreams. Share your thoughts with me. Make on social media. Make sure you reach out to me on email. And everyone, let's welcome my very special guest, my colleague, my partner, my very good friend, Alycia Huston. Let's welcome her.
I love the cheers. I love that.
I know. We've upgraded since the first time we interviewed you, right? Listen,
That's right.
I love it. I'm so glad that you're on here because you have over 20 years of experience in strategic planning and business operations and management. And so what we want to do is draw from your rich background. You were once, as a female, as a woman in biotech, which by the way, when you started, no one, you're the founder of your own biotech company. Your expertise created your vision for your life, and you leverage it to drive your success and fulfillment, right? And so
correct.
I want us to really talk and focus on that for the few minutes that we're together. And so my first question to you, Alycia, would be, how do you define a vision for your life, and why is it so important in achieving personal and professional success?
Wow, what a great question. So the first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to use you as an example. So first thing I noticed when you were talking and you were sharing, I was like, ooh, Dr. Esther's nails are fire. So yes, I love your nails. And so what that does, right? So now everybody is going to be focused on your nails. Now people are going to look at your nails, or if they rewind, they'll look at them, or as we're talking, they're going to look at them. That's what a vision does. Vision casting gives you focus. It helps you to see past the other fog, the other disruptions. You have a focus with that vision. And so that's what vision does. It allows you a place that your eyes can see. Oh, that's where I'm going. And so, a lot of times I can speak for myself even. I will have a big vision because I'm a visionary. So that is my gifting. It is visionary strategy, all of those things. And so I will get a big vision for myself, for my clients, whomever. And sometimes we have to remember the vision is a process, right? It's a process. It's not, I'm getting to that final destination tomorrow. No. Most likely you're not. Most of us, that's not how it works. There is a vision, and then there are the steps that we need to take. That vision then aligns our steps. It aligns us with what we say yes to, what we say no to, what we say. I need to think about that a little bit more. The people we say yes to, right? Because even let's say, even if we are in marriage, you and I are both married. So whether you're in marriage or whether you are in a relationship with friends, girlfriends. You may want to expand your girlfriend group. You may want to expand your guy group. You still need to
Yeah.
have a vision for the people that you want to bring into that space. We take for granted how important that vision is, that defining of what it is we really want, because a lot of things we don't define and they happen by default. And
Yeah.
so that is why it's so important, just to answer you very quickly and quickly, on why that vision is so important personally and
Yes. Yes.
professionally.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to bring out 2 points. One is, when I told my story when I first was in corporate America, my first taste of corporate America in New York, and that vision I had, when you said, and it takes time, really, because I had that vision was cultivated when I got that job in corporate America, that then expanded my vision, right, to what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go to
Yes.
college and to do this and to achieve this. And it
Yes.
started there, starting with a vision. The other thing I want to point out, what you said, is that many times we think our vision, oh, I have this vision, boom, 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 it's going to come. There's no plan. There's no anything. When I went in for that interview, I had a plan.
Exactly.
I had a plan. But here's the other piece, is that, you know, I'm a Bible girl. I love the
Yes.
scripture, right?
Yes.
And there's a scripture that says, um, though the vision tarry, it will come to
It
pass,
will come
right?
to pass. Come
And
on.
so, and I remember, no lie, I used to struggle with that. I'm like, oh my God, what is this vision? Okay, though the vision carry, it comes tarry. It will, in other words, keep pursuing the vision. It will come to pass. It
Yes.
doesn't say when it will come to pass. It just says it will come to pass, because when it will come to pass, as you said, it's not going to happen overnight, but you
Right.
got to have a plan. You can't say I have a vision, but you got no plan for the vision.
Right. Right. And you're so right. And I just want to talk about what you said too, as far as you did have a vision within that job interview, what the outcome, what your desired outcome, you see?
Outcome.
So,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then it gives your brain somewhere, there's something called the RAS, the reticular activating system in your brain. It gives your brain the opportunity to focus on that outcome. So you want to program the RAS with your desired outcome, and your brain
Exactly.
will move things out of the way, like, nope, that doesn't align, nope, that doesn't align, stage left, nope, stage right, nope, you're a distraction. And so
Yeah.
we have to then take heed to that, because our brain is very brilliant. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many facets to the brain, and so we need to take heed. But then what happens sometimes, yours truly included,
Yeah. Yeah.
we digress, or
Yes, we
we
do.
we sidestep, because we think, oh, that's okay, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, that's going to get me there faster, when
Hmm.
we know our vision is our right. Like, let's put a hand up, two
Let's
hands
put a
up if
hand
that's
up.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's out ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why it is so important that we do have a plan, so that when we do veer to the left or veer to the right, that our RAS is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's not a part of the vision. And that we have the wherewithal and the acumen, the personal acumen and aptitude to self-correct on the path, to say, oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute,
Yeah.
oh, I
Yeah.
sidestep, because we're human. We're gonna
Yeah.
sidestep.
Yeah.
We may try something else, or we may say yes to something that, like, ooh, that wasn't the best decision. And you just, dust yourself off, don't judge yourself, and keep going. Just
And keep
realign with
going.
the vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understanding, like you said, the vision will proliferate as you
Yeah.
are walking it out. What you saw 2 years ago is not necessarily where God wants you to be 7 years from now, but he just
Right.
needs you to
Right.
start putting one foot in front of the other and walking it out, because you'll make new relationships, you'll meet new people, you'll have new opportunities, you will expand, your person will expand, your
Yeah.
spirit
Yeah.
woman or your spirit man will expand, and that
Yeah.
will allow for even more. Then there will be more revelation to actually the vastness of that vision and who is supposed to support you along the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Along the way. I love what you're saying, because, I think there's a foundational vision that you have. You
Yeah.
understand what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I had this foundational vision. I knew I wanted to be in corporate America. I
Right.
knew I wanted to be, at that time, at an 18-year-old, I wanted to work in an office.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I knew at that point at 18, it was my first job, my first shifts.
Yes. Come on.
you know,
Come on.
it shifts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And so we have to be ready to be just so open-minded and be ready for the shift of
Yes.
the vision.
Yes.
Knowing that the whole vision hasn't changed. Like I'm a CEO.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
a CEO,
Yes. Yes,
right?
indeed.
We're because of the foundational vision, right?
Right.
We started at one place, but the
Yes.
vision continued to expand over years. It didn't happen overnight. It
No.
took, as you said, a lot of new revelations, so
Mm.
many things, disappointments,
Mm. Come on.
loss,
Speak that truth. Speak that
you
truth.
know, all of those things, challenges, all of those things have happened.
Hmm.
But what has happened is that it really, I would like to say in many ways solidified lots of the vision and shifted it
Yes.
to where then it allows the vision to expand and
Yes.
grow.
Yes, Dr. E. Yes. Because all of those experiences during your walking it out, you
Yeah.
are growing. So you are gaining wisdom. You're gaining insight. You are now having lived experiences. So as you said, even when you were introducing me, my 20 plus years, 25 plus
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
in leadership, in growing businesses, in strategy and operations now lends itself to supporting other organizations and businesses
Yeah.
in doing the same. It's not just from something I've read in a book. Are leaders readers? Absolutely. We are all
Absolutely.
readers, but lived experiences,
Yes.
you cannot beat that. And that is why it's so important to walk your vision out because you will
Yeah.
see more clearly, right? What is for you within that vision and what is not for you, what is for someone else.
Yeah.
And
You
yes,
all you see
go.
what works and what does not work. And
Yes,
so in that when you're helping others, you could get them 20 years further. What took you 20 years
come on.
will take them less
Right.
simply because of what you've learned from your experience and what worked and what didn't work. And there's a lot of
Yes.
things in business and in life. It's really the same. It
Yes.
just may have on, it's at a different time frame. It's got on maybe a different outfit, may have
Yes.
a different color, but
Come
it's still
on.
the same. It's
That's
all
right.
ice cream, but different flavors.
That's right. That's right. And something just came to me. I'm working with a wonderful, wonderful leader right now, and she has a very successful business. I mean, extremely multiple seven figures. And as we're talking business,
Yeah.
we're getting closer, right? So she's beginning to trust me. And she
Right.
said, Alycia, I'm ready for love again. I want to be married, right? So if you have a small mind, you would think one has nothing to do with the other, but they
But
do
it
because
does.
it's about her whole person.
It
And this
is.
is when we know who we are. Now, do I have experience with marriage, love, all those things? Yes. But am I an expert? No. So this
Yeah.
is when we have to understand that our vision, although bold, does not encompass every facet of a
Yeah.
person. And it's because of our walking it out, our being in different rooms, that we also have other people
Yeah.
that operate in excellence that we can trust
Yeah.
and say, you know what? I hear you, Lisa. Let me connect you with one of my amazing colleagues where that
Yeah.
is her lane. So we
Yeah.
can get
Yeah.
you right in business and in your love life because
Yeah.
that is
So
a
true.
desire, right? Because that's
Yeah.
a vision of hers. She has a business vision and she has a personal vision. What we have to also understand is we don't have to check off every box for the needs of each person, but
No, we don't.
because
We
we
don't.
do have experience and we have relationships, we
Yeah.
can then support that person though with bringing them to who their right next step is in that lane.
Exactly. Exactly. The other piece I want to bring out is if your vision is small, then you may want to go back and look at your vision.
Mm,
Right.
yeah,
I say that because sometimes we'll keep our vision to this because we think that's all we can do.
right.
And then that becomes a worthy issue.
Yes, so good. That's so good.
And so, you have to look like when I was 18 going for this job, if I only had the vision of what I could do, I would have went to McDonald's.
Right. Right.
And I'm not criticizing,
No. No.
McDonald's or anything like that. Or I would have, you understand what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
my vision was I was ready to launch out,
Yeah.
And so I think that when you have a vision, you need to look at the size. It may start here, but can it grow?
Yes, that's such a good point.
Can your vision grow? I have a saying that if my vision is if it's really small and I could accomplish it like that, then it's not a big enough vision.
No. Your vision should scare you. It should fully stretch you. It should not be something that you can even see happening next week, next month, even by the end of the year. The vision should be vast. The vision equals vastness. So sometimes we mix up, we will intertwine vision with strategy. Vision and strategy are two different things. Your vision should be large. As you said, it should really stretch you. You should feel very uncomfortable.
You should.
And your vision should not be able to be reached alone.
That's right, because it always takes someone, I always say God sends someone in, someone to help you, someone to train you, someone to teach you, someone to coach you, someone to invest in you. It's never alone. If you can accomplish your vision by yourself, you may want to look at that as well. Absolutely. You need others.
Absolutely.
In that vision. So, Alycia, can you share your personal journey for crafting a vision for your life and how it has influenced your path to success and fulfillment?
Absolutely. And so one thing I want to really embed in this conversation for your listeners here, for all of you listening, joining us, your vision is directly connected to your values.
Yes.
Your vision is directly connected to your values. And what I mean by that, integrity is that is my number one value, integrity, right? And so everything I do within my vision, it must operate from a space of integrity. People that I come into contact with, people that I'm going to work with, they must operate in a space of integrity. Another one of my values is family. And so there must be time, family and friends, the two F's, right? Family and friends. My favorite F words, family and friends. And so I have to ensure that as I'm operating in my vision, that there is also space for my family and for my friends. And those family and friends must also operate in integrity. And let's be real right now. Let's have a real conversation. Some friends, as you grow, you will see things about them that are no longer aligned. And so there will be a time to cleave and to prune. Even our family, people, hear me. Listen, even our family, we can love our family, but there are some family members that we have to push back from because they don't align with our core values. If you have family that does not operate in integrity, and that is one of your core values, there is going to be a rub. And so we've been caught up in this societal thing that all of your family, you're supposed to love all your family. You can love all your family, but you don't have to like all your family. And so
nor do you have to hang around them.
Nor do you have to spend time with them. We don't have to
spend time with them. You don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as I have gone on this journey, right, of my visioning and operating and aligning it with my top values, life, understanding that people that and taking accountability as I've walked this thing out with people that I have moved into partnership with. You spoke on worthiness because I didn't trust myself. I didn't think I was worthy. People I have mispartnered with because I thought they had something I didn't have, right? Or something.
Say that one more time. Say that again. Say that again.
People that I have mispartnered with because I thought they had something that I didn't have.
Oh, yeah.
That I was missing something, and they were somehow going to infuse that into me, and then it was all going to be okay.
Right? We've all did. I mean,
come on, deferring my leadership.
As they say, you're in church right now. We say, you preaching now, girl.
Come on, deferring who we really are to somebody else, somebody else's authority, understanding that
Yeah.
we have always had the authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so as you are walking in your authority within your vision, aligned with your values, understanding that all of that lends to your mission. And your
All of it.
mission is who you are called to serve. And what I call that is a mighty mission, who you
Yeah.
are called to serve in this earth. And for me, that is when it was revealed to me that I am called to serve women in leadership through the lens of operations and leadership culture.
Yeah.
So your true mission will become clear as you are walking in values and vision
That's
and
right. That's right.
aligning with the right individuals. Because
Aligning
yes,
with
go
the
ahead.
right
Go ahead.
individuals. Yeah.
Yes,
No, that's,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because
Go
we need
ahead.
we need people that are edifiers in our life, that are
Yes.
not detractors, where we can edify one another, that where there is reciprocity in relationship,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can grow together
Yeah.
and we can be
Yeah.
door openers for one another. That is
Yeah.
another very true value of mine. If you
Yeah.
are not someone who opens doors for other people, if you feel like I need to bump you out of the way so I can get in this room, we're not aligned.
Not aligned, not aligned, not
Yeah,
aligned at all. Not
yeah,
aligned. Yeah.
yeah.
So when we're looking at our vision, right? So, what's your value?
Yes,
Right? What's your value?
yes,
When we're thinking about our visions, and I really want to make sure that everyone listening, all of the women listening, or the humans listening, whoever's listening, to
yeah.
really be clear that when you're looking at your vision as well, there are some challenges that will
Come
come
on.
along with that. Right.
Mm.
Because we just live in a society to where we think everything is just, it's not supposed to have a challenge. We're not supposed, I wish.
Oh, do I? Do I wish that? Oh, oh.
I
Yes,
just wish
yes, yes.
that in this vision I have for creating your desired life and
Yes,
living a life by design, and
yes,
everything that I'm doing or you're doing, that there's absolutely no challenges coming with this vision to serve others and to help out others.
yes.
So we know that there's challenges.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
share with us when you face your challenges for that ideal life that you
Mhm,
desire, right?
mhm,
And I put
mhm.
in quotes,
Yeah,
ideal life,
right,
right? And
right.
how can you overcome any
Mm.
challenges or obstacles that you may face?
So the first thing I want to propose to you before I answer that question is that if everything came easy to you, then God would not be able to show you how amazing you actually are and resilient.
So true.
So if it
So
came
true.
easy to you, you would only need you. You wouldn't need him. And then
All
you
by
would not
yourself.
see the greatness in you through him. So that's the first thing. So we are going to experience obstacles.
Ah,
And in
yes.
those obstacles, when you experience those moments, because like you said, Dr. E, we do and we will, you will experience those moments. I invite you to, instead of getting frustrated, like go ahead and get frustrated for a minute and rant. Go ahead and do that. Rant to yourself, have that
Yeah.
trusted friend that you can call, vent to, and then you think, okay, now I'm good, girl.
I like to say, because sometimes I tell people, I said, I'll sometimes throw a whole temper tantrum, and
Yep.
I'll throw a temper tantrum with God and I'll cry. Then when I'm done, it's like, okay, all
You're
right,
like,
let's go. Let's
all
do
right,
this.
all right, let's
I'm
go.
ready
Ah,
now.
yeah, yeah. And so those are some of the first things I would say. Give yourself
Yeah.
permission to feel that frustration, to
Yeah.
feel that rub, right? And even to feel that anger sometimes, right? Because sometimes
Yeah.
there will be atrocities done against you, and so you will be angry. But you don't want to stay in that place, because we will not be able to move into the next dimension if we stay in that place. But also know you are being equipped for the next level. So that disruption, that what was meant for your harm, is only going to be for the good of you and your growth, and making sure, giving you the opportunity to go back to that vision and values and make sure you're aligned. So what I mean by that, when I told you I was misaligned in a previous relationship, it was a business relationship, and we had hosted a couple of events. And the events were just, I was not feeling in my spirit that they were just turning out the way they needed to. Like, I didn't feel people were getting what they needed. I had to go back and be honest with myself. I was misaligned in my values in this partnership. I said, this is what I wanted. See, this is when clarity comes in. I said, out of a partnership, this is what I want. I had to look at that list of what I said I wanted, right? The vision of what I wanted. I was not receiving that. And so there was a misalignment, which in turn, the results were lackluster and non-existent. And so if you have a vision with a partner. That's what you need to be clear on, what you want in a partner. I'm talking about business-wise now, but also personally. There's got to be a level of clarity. There's got to be a level of clarity in business, definitely. In career, right? Like you were clear in that moment in your career, what you wanted. There's got to be clarity in that, because that clarity is the vision, and clarity breeds mastery. And so when you have that vision and you derail from it, you then have something to go back to and as a reference and say, I'm misaligned here. This is why I'm experiencing this challenge right here. Or, I said yes to this. That was me operating just from what I wanted versus what I knew the vision really needed, right? And so let me give you an example.
Or can I add to that real quick? Not just what I wanted, but sometimes what somebody else wants.
Come on, deferring again, right?
Deferring, right? What somebody else wants, their vision that they have for me.
Come on, or deferring. Once again. And I'm going to tell you about that too. Like, just an example, there is something that you have been praying for. You're like, Lord, expand my territory in this. He brings you a conference. He brings you a summit. He brings you something that is like, it's going to require you to move. It's going to require you to maybe get on a plane, train, or in your automobile. And you like, oh, but I don't want to get on a plane.
Well, yeah.
But I don't want to go to the venue. But you've been asking for expansion of territory. You've been asking for new friends. You've been asking for new fruit, new manna. But yet you're not willing. You're not even willing to do your part to move into action. So that's what I mean, making sure you're aligned actually with the vision. Are you moving in alignment with the vision that you petitioned for?
And it sounds like if you're saying there's a
time, energy, or financial. Come on. You're going to have to move.
There's a cost. There's a cost.
Listen, UPS and FedEx is not going to come deliver your vision. Oh, here's your vision in the box to the door. Let me ring your doorbell. And let's be clear, FedEx and UPS cost too. Okay? So the mail costs. There is a cost to it. Nobody's coming to deliver your vision in this pretty gold box to your door. You got to move. You got to get in the right spaces and places. And it requires your effort.
And it's like, and you have to be willing to pay the cost. You have to be willing to pay the price in all areas.
There's a cost for everything.
For the vision, you know?
Has a cost.
Yeah.
Everything. Anything in life has a cost. Listen, you want a car, you're going to pay for the car or pay a car note. You're going to put gas in it. You're going to have maintenance. There's a cost. If you want to grow your business, there's a cost. There are things that come with business. You got to get incorporated or get your LLC. You got to file with the state. If you, whatever you want, if you want to be in a relationship, there's a cost. There's time. There's a giving of yourself. There's a cost to everything in life.
How do we get, as people, how do we get women to understand that there is a cost? And, you know, you talked about lining up that your vision with your values. You have to be in alignment. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that they're saying, well, I'm in alignment, but I value this, but I have a vision for this, but there's always a but I don't have the money now.
Right.
But I don't have a babysitter, let's say. But I can't get there. And then you say, okay, you don't have the money now. Well, let's see what money you do have and what you could not get so you can get this. And I think that you have to determine with
Yes.
all of this, when you make all of your excuses, is, well, do,
Yeah.
do you want to pursue your vision or
Right.
not? What are the sacrifices
Right.
you need to make? Can we talk about that a little? Because I think that
Absolutely.
we forget that there's sacrifices that go
There
along with
are.
it.
So if you think about even in a business, starting a business, there are
Yeah.
sacrifices you are going to make with your time. And I told you, family and friends are important to me. But in that season of really growing and founding my
Mhm.
business, I knew that I was not going to have as much time. So there were conversations that need to be had. But you
Yes.
need to sacrifice in order for the greater good, right? So there is but a moment in time where there is sacrifice. There were times, listen, I forwent my Starbucks. There were so many things. I stopped eating out so much because I knew my funds were concentrated. I needed to
Yeah.
concentrate my funds to do things. I needed counsel, right? All these things for
Yeah.
starting a
Yeah.
business that I knew where my funds needed to be directed to. And it's
Yeah.
so crazy. We're not willing to sacrifice in the
We're
short
not.
term for the long term. And so
Yes.
that's where you've got to start changing your mindset and where you
Yeah.
got to start aligning your actions with your vision. And that's what
Yeah.
I mean. We don't want
Yeah.
to sacrifice. I want to go hang out at brunch with my girlfriends on Sundays, but I'm saying I want God to expand my territory. Listen, your girlfriends are your girlfriends, but I need to be at this event over here. I need to be
Amen.
in this room over here,
Yeah.
but I still want to
Yeah.
go to brunch and spend these couple $100s when I can
Yeah.
say, hey, ladies, I got a
Yeah.
vision. I got to do this right now. And so I'm going to
Yeah.
have to forego brunch for this quarter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Starbucks. So, I'm a coffee drinker.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I remember years ago when I began to say, okay, I need to, pursue this piece of the vision now.
Yeah.
Right. And I
Right.
began to look at my finances. And so what I began to do, and listen, I want to tell you ladies out there, you women out there, this is something that you can do. If you have not done it, then begin to do it. I just began to look at where I was spending money.
There you go.
And so one of the things, I wasn't going to Starbucks often at that point, but I was an avid Dunkin' Donor
Woo.
drinker.
Yeah, baby.
And so I would go to Dunkin' Donut at least three. I would go in on my way into work to my
Hmm.
office. And if someone was going to Dunkin' Donut or stopping by, they'd always call and say,
Give
"Hey, do
me
you want
something.
coffee?" Get me. And
Hmm.
I knew exactly at that time it was always a medium coffee, double cream, double sugar,
Yes,
right?
girl.
All the
Yes,
time. I would
yes.
get coffee coming home. I was just a drinker. And
Right.
so I decided, okay, I need to make some cuts because I need to put money aside because I need to now launch
Yes.
out,
Come on. Come on,
right?
Dr. E.
And so I remember I sat and I decided, let me just look at this extra stuff. I looked at my coffee budget. Let
Hmm.
me tell you, and I looked for how much coffee I spent on coffee in 1 week at
Right.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
Well, let me just say it this way. I stopped at $25. I just stopped counting at $25 and I said, whoa.
Yes. Whoa. Whoa.
I stopped at $25,
Yeah.
which means I was spending more than $25 a week on
Weekly.
coffee at Dunkin' Donut.
Yes.
So you know what was the first thing I did? I slashed it. And so
True.
now I may not have slashed it total in the whole, but I may
Right.
say, you know what? Let me slash it by let me just go once. And then I
I
just slashed
got
it.
you. Yeah.
Let me go and buy the coffee from the store where I can make it every day. And let me get a coffee pot for my office. Right. And so I made sure that my office had a coffee pot that everyone could get coffee and bought coffee there. And that's
There
where
you
I
go.
drank my coffee.
There you
And the
go.
money I put aside from Dunkin' Donut, I put it into my account. And so you can
Exactly.
just begin with something as small as that.
I
Is,
love
as
that.
you said earlier, let's set the plan for the vision.
Yes.
But it's like David Ramsey said, you have to live like no one else so you can live like no one else.
That's right. And I got to
Right?
bring really quickly to that conversation that you just shared. That
Mm-hmm.
is integrity. See, that still, you
Mm-hmm.
see how it goes back to your values. That's
Yeah.
living in
Yeah.
integrity with the plan you set forth for yourself
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
holding oneself accountable. That is integrity.
Yeah.
That's one of your values. And that's when you go back and you make sure you're operating in integrity. You got to
Yeah.
be real with
You
yourself.
have to be real with yourself. You
Yes.
have to be so good, so good. So, for that woman, how can they leverage their vision in their lives that
Yeah.
will drive their motivation and their resilience and their fulfillment? Because sometimes we give up, but
Yeah.
how can they leverage that in their
So
vision that will drive them?
I love that. So you're leveraging your vision is understanding it's not supposed to be done in your office by yourself all the time. This is what I talk about, going to places where there are others that inspire
Yeah,
you, going to places where other like-minded individuals
yeah,
hang
yeah,
out, putting
yeah.
yourself in room. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want y'all to pay attention every time, she's driving home. So this is important. You cannot do this by yourself.
Mm-mm.
Okay, continue. You
Mm-hmm.
can. I just want them to listen. She's driving that. There's, whoever you get, whoever you're with, it is community. You cannot do this alone.
You can't. I would not have the success I have today
Yeah.
doing it by myself. So,
Yeah.
really leveraging your vision, as you said, is leveraging opportunities that avail themselves to you. So, if you know you have a vision to open a restaurant, like, are you just going to sit yourself in a room in your office every day, researching? No, you need to go to opportunities, to events, to where you can meet others doing what you want to do, so you can be stretched, so you can be pulled on your tippy toes, so you can now see what's possible. What happens
Yeah.
is you don't know what's possible till you start moving into those other rooms and
Yeah.
making new connections, having new conversations, new dialogues. So
Yeah.
laziness and latency in vision means that you're not doing your work to expand your understanding of
Yeah.
possibility that
Yeah.
exists for you.
Yeah. I remember when I had my vision for my early childhood centers, I would, I'm in the field of early childhood and I've worked for the feds and for everybody else. And I remember when I would go into programs and when I would go to conferences, I would sit and I would listen and I had my vision and I would look at what others are doing. I would say, and, putting myself in the rooms and even going and visiting other
Yeah,
centers, other
exactly.
businesses
Exactly.
and envisioning what I wanted by looking at what they are doing, what I
Yeah.
liked, and what I'm like, oh, I'm not too sure about that. You understand what I mean? So
Yes.
it's so important that if you're gonna leverage, if you're gonna
Yes.
to be go beyond motivation, honestly,
Yes. Yes.
and
Into
have
action.
resilience into
Yes.
action. Yes. Into fulfillment. You have to put yourself out there. You've got to go into other rooms.
You
You need
do.
to see what others are doing.
You do. You do. Listen,
You
vision
need to
requires boots on the ground.
it
Vision
does. It requires
execution, boots on the ground.
yeah.
Hmm.
And this isn't just for business, by the way. This
No.
is also for relationships.
Yep.
Look at other relationships.
Yep.
Look at, if you're in a marriage, go and see some good marriages. Go to a
Yeah.
marriage conference, a marriage
Yes.
retreat. Do those things, align yourself with marriages that are good or,
Yes.
relationships that are
Yes.
good, people that operate in integrity. Those are
Yes.
the type of things that you need to do when you have a vision, either a personal vision or a business vision, professional vision. It is boots on the ground.
It
That
is.
is the way that you leverage it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And then you change your mindset towards some things.
Yeah. It's truth. It's truth. Because you begin to see what has been myth,
Yeah,
possibly, right? Because there's so many myths out there. And and we have become a world. I was just thinking about this today where we read something on social media and we just take it as law. So
yeah,
now
no,
we've got to get out of that. We've got to bust those myths, and those myths require you getting out of your own space, right? You
yeah,
have to
yeah,
experience things. And so then
yeah,
you can see, oh, that was silly. I can't even believe I thought that, right?
yeah.
So you can begin to operate from truth rather than fallacy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when you get out into other spaces, it it expands your mindset. It
Yes.
expands your view. It allows you to shift your mindset because
Yes.
you could have thought one thing this way, right?
Yeah.
And again, you're just looking on social media, you're just doing this. But when you get out and you see another perspective, you see another view, you see another, you're just like, and
Yes.
as you said, oh, I can't believe, oh, wow, I didn't realize. I didn't know. Oh, that's really, you understand? It's
Right.
just a whole mindset shift. And
Yes.
you will be surprised when your mindset begins to shift, that vision that you thought was great and big now even expands and becomes bigger because now your mindset is shifting. You're saying, oh, that's what I want. That
Right.
aligns with my value. I
Right.
can pursue this. I can get this. And then you're motivated to have the boots on the ground.
That's right. That's right. And then you see what more you require. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I need to be in that room over there. Okay, I need to
Yeah.
connect with her. I need to make sure I conversate with her
Mhm.
after this conference because she has this level of wisdom, and we can be. And I'm going to offer reciprocity in relationship,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
so this is when things really start to grow when
Yes.
you begin
Yes.
to move.
To
Yes,
move. And here's the other piece I want to add to that is that, there's a saying, well, I say it all the time, is that people pay for what they want.
absolutely. Yeah.
And so you sometimes I see people telling me they're struggling with this and they can't do this and they can't do that, but you're doing these other things because you
Right.
want to.
That's
You
it.
can't come to this, but you just went on a vacation. And I'm
That's
not
it.
saying that you shouldn't go on a
Right. Right.
vacation
Right.
or you
Right.
shouldn't be doing all the other things. But I'm like, but you said that you really want this and you're doing all these other things. So I
Right.
know you want those other things because you're
Yes.
doing it.
Yes. And that's where integrity comes into play, right? Like when we're honest with
Exactly.
ourselves,
Yeah.
like, I really want to do this, but so that's where you have to check yourself. Like, do I really want to do this?
Do
Am I
you
making
really want to do it?
excuses? Do I
Because
need to pull back? And so that's where that level of checking in again
yeah.
with your vision and values, are they
Yeah,
aligned?
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be doing that. I know for me on a regular basis, do I really want this? So if I
Yeah.
really want it, I'm going to pursue it. Or am I just saying I want it?
Right. Right. Am I just giving it lip service?
Am I just
Exactly.
giving it lip service? Because if I really want it, if I really want to lose weight, I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to,
I'm
like,
going
there's
to,
that
I'm
word
going to
again.
sacrifice,
I'm going to
right?
stop eating all that sugar. I'm going to stop going out to eat all the time. There is a level of sacrifice.
There's
Yes.
a level of sacrifice. So what is really, when we're speaking about our vision for our life, our profession, for our business, it's really, number one, operating in integrity.
Yeah.
Number two, really looking at what is it you want and what
Mhm.
your values are,
That's
and
right.
realizing it's got to be boots on the ground.
Yeah, that's it. You got to
Yeah,
move. You got to get in those
yeah.
rooms, in those spaces and places, because it
You
ain't your
do.
office by yourself on the
It's
internet.
not by your office. So it's not. So just as we prepare to close, what strategies or practices would you recommend
Mm.
for our viewers, in
So
clarifying their vision and
I
getting
love
aligned
that.
with their goals? Yeah.
I love that. So right now, I'm not going to show you because it's very raw. I have my whiteboard. I have my whiteboard over here that I'm writing things that I'm clarifying, like what my vision is, and making sure that what I have planned for the rest of the year aligns. The things that I've said yes to, another conference that is on my preview, but I'm not sure if I'm going to attend. I'm checking that out. Like, is that aligned, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whiteboarding is huge for me, truly. And having an accountability partner is another thing, like being real with someone and having the emotional intelligence to let
Mm,
someone say, Alycia, that doesn't sound like it's aligned with your vision, and not getting all offended, and and so understanding, having the EQ to institute an accountability partner.
yeah.
Someone, do not get your best friend, do not get someone who's not going to tell you the truth. Get someone who, first off, understands where you're going and can hold you accountable to that. So most times it's not your best friend because they're not operating the way you are. And then also understanding that you need to be with someone that is going to check you. And then
Yeah.
you having the EQ to understand, this is all in love because I want to get to this this destination that I have outlined for myself. So
Yeah.
whiteboarding, and then having an accountability partner. And the third thing I would say is For me, what really, really works well for me too is really taking time to be prayerful and listen.
Mm, yes,
Prayerful
we
and
cannot
listen. Right?
leave
Not
that
just
out.
pray and go and do what I want to
Yeah,
do anyway, because
yeah,
yes, Alycia has done that and still has to catch
yeah,
herself, but
yeah,
really being prayerful and listening.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
those
So
three things.
important. Yeah.
Yeah,
And honestly, it really begins with that,
yeah,
you
it does.
know,
It
being
does.
prayerful and listening. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
so important.
Yeah.
Um, what are your last words,
Mm,
Alycia, as we end this very powerful
mm,
conversation? Um, my hopes for the viewers, especially the women,
yeah.
the humans out there,
Yeah.
that they would begin to really look at their vision. Is your
Mhm.
vision big enough? Do you
Yeah.
have
Do you
a
even have
vision?
one? Mhm.
You know, for
Mhm.
your life. Let's first talk for your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we could move on to your business or to your
Yeah.
profession. But do you
Yes.
have a vision? Yeah.
Yes. And I would say, just to piggyback on that, the most important thing I would say is to have a vision personally first before you move into everything. That's what I call personal leadership, right? Because you can't lead others until oneself is being led by the truth within that person, because you're not even clear on where you're going. So
Yeah.
identify a personal vision for you. It's not to get
Mhm.
approval from anyone else. This is from you through you. So, what
Yeah.
is your personal vision? And then
Yeah.
get clear on what your top six values are, your top
Mm.
six personal values, because that will drive everything else you do. With your personal vision and your values will
Yeah.
drive everything. So that is what I would say. And then also understand vision does not have room for latency or laziness.
It
So
does
it
not.
doesn't mean you have to be go, 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 go all the time, but you have to be accountable. Latency and lazy do not equate to success and significance. And so, as you are looking to be significant in the world in what you're called to do,
Yeah.
latency, there's no room for latency. There is room for rest. There is room for rest. So, rest and lazy
Yeah.
are two different things. So, be
Yeah.
careful that you don't lump them into the same thing, because you need rest for what yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I would say. Start with your personal vision and values, and
Yeah.
then move into the rest that then is outside of you, right? About career, business,
Yeah.
relationship, all those things. Because first, you are required to know who you are in your personal identity, which
Yeah.
so many of us have foregone.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for joining us. Come on, y'all. Let's love on Alycia. Make sure that when you're listening that you're setting up and just loving on her. Thank you so much for joining us today, for joining me. Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you for having me. Mwah. Love you too.
Take
Bye.
care. Take care. Bye. All right, everyone. So let's really do some quick self reflection. What is your vision? What is your vision for your life? What's your personal vision? And does it align with your values? And maybe, as Alycia recommended, write your values. What are your core values? You know, I call them core values. Go ahead and list them. What is the vision for your life? Let's just take a moment and self reflect. take to keep the goals. And so let me repeat this one more time. I apologize. We were having a little microphone issue. The question is, what are the necessary steps I need to take to remain focused on my goals? And this is Dominique from Texas. And I said, first, what you want to do is determine your values and write your core values down, and make sure that your goals are in alignment with your values. Once you determine what your values are, and then you look at your goals, and are they alignment with your values, then you can begin to really focus on what is it you want. Look at, what is it going to take to reach your goals, and begin to put those steps into place. Now, here's the quote. Our quote for the day or for the week is, where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there is no vision, the people perish. In other words, make sure you have a vision. When you don't have a vision for your life, your business, or anything else, you're just walking around with let's just say like with no clue. Make sure you have a vision of where you want to go and what you want to do, and set your plan for it. I so love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me today. Take care, and God bless you. Bye.